But how else can we explain these terrible deaths? One else last night, 5 others before him. That's 6 within as many weeks, Inspector. Our friends, neighbors that we'd known for years, drained of their life's blood, found dead in bed, lifeless skeletons of skin and bone. Vampires are at large, I tell you, vampires.
Malignant demons who issue forth from their graves in the dead of night to attack their victims and drink the blood from their veins.
Brrr. Gotten him a breath, Snyder, don't jest.
That blood-sucking legend belongs in the same category with werewolves and all other peasant superstitions.
But the bats, man. The bats.
God, yes. Big ones, so.
Oh, now we're switching to bats again.
There was an epidemic of giant bats in Kleinschloss in 1643. And at the same time, there was an outbreak of vampirism.
Rot.
Why, this record from the town archive proves it.
Says it, not proves it.
Well, I'll show you. I'll show you. Now, here it is. And on this day was von Hausmann hanged from a gibbet in the public square after being convicted on a proven charge of vampirism. And on this same day, there did occur the departure of the bats. Thousands of horrible flying creatures which infested the town for weeks. And on the night of this same day, February 13, in the year of our Lord, 1643, was there a stake driven through von Hausmann's heart and his head cut off with a gravedigger's shovel. There.
Well, all the records in the world can't make me believe in vampires. There are blood-sucking bats, yes. In South America, thousands of miles from here, but not in Kleinschloss.
But bats fly. They could fly here. You saw the bodies. All of them. 2 wounds on the neck, right at the jugular vein. 2 wounds on the neck, pierced and spread apart just as if 2 fang-like teeth had bitten through the flesh and right into the veins. And in every case, a blood clot, 8 inches from the victim's neck. The mark of the feast, the devil's signature.
Does that appear the mark of a human being or a demon's?
God save us, the devil's.
You ought to make a pretty fair meal for a vampire. But let's be consistent. Are these human vampires or bats?
Vampires can take the shape of a human or a bat, just as they choose.
Oh, they're magicians. Well, it doesn't make sense to me.
The whole village is in terror. We live in closed houses, behind locked doors and bolted shutters, not daring to close our eyes, fearful lest this unseen silent death may find us in our sleep, for it is then that it strikes, swiftly, silently, ghastly. My room is tightly closed. The windows are barred, nailed down. Nothing can get in. Nothing.
But they tell me vampires can go through stone walls like that.
God save me, so they can. We've got to do something, I tell you. Kleinschloss will become a deserted village.
Well, you might catch all the bats and drown them in the river.
Carl!
While you're hunting for vampires and chasing bats, I'm looking for a human being. A murderer, a fiend.
Well, then don't jest about it. Do something.
I'm trying to. Every hour, every day, every night since this thing started.
Do you hear it? Hear it? Yes. Night after night. Lying awake until dawn. Waiting.
For what?
I don't know.
That's what I thought. Good night, gentlemen. Don't let the vampires get you. Are your kisses dynamite?
Don't you like my kisses? Well, how's my mastermind this evening?
Well, if you want the truth, not so good.
The Burgermeister and his Grand Council still stick to the vampire theory.
Stick to it? Huh. They're quoting history to prove it. I think you and Dr. von Niemann are the only sane people left in the village.
And you? What about you?
Me? Well, I'm beginning to think I'm 7 different kinds of a fool. Murders are being done under my very nose. I must be as blind as the bats themselves. I can't find a single clue.
Oh, but you will, Carl. You will.
Well, I haven't.
Oh, Ruth!
And here comes dear Aunt Gussie to spread good cheer and hope.
Just what I thought. Slaving your life away in this awful place. It hasn't got that nice, clean, wholesome smell of a hospital. How are you, Carl?
Oh, quite well, thank you.
Well, I'm not. This clammy old place is bound to give me pericarditis, enterocolitis, neuritis, well, anyway, rheumatism. You have some coffee?
No, thank you, Frau Stammmann.
No, it's just as well. There's only 2 cups. Here. That'll take the chill out of your bones.
Thank you.
Speaking of chills, Frau Stammmann, did you know the village is supposed to be infested with ghouls and vampires?
Oh, Carl.
Vampires. Pariahs among fiends. Demoniacal creatures with huge canine teeth who bite deeply into the necks of their victims to quaff and gorge on blood. Warm human blood.
There's no such thing as a vampire, Carl Brett Snyder. I don't believe in it. You're just saying that to frighten me. And I just won't be frightened. I'm entirely too sensible to believe in such rubbish.
I beg pardon.
Oh, so it's you.
I'm sorry if I frightened you.
Who said you frightened me? I'm not afraid of anything.
Could you tell me where Dr. von Niemann is?
We drove to the village to see Martha, the old apple woman.
Thank you.
Is this what Dr. Haupt prescribed?
Yes, sir. She takes it in water.
Well, continue giving it to her.
Yes, sir.
It's stifling in here. Open these windows.
Yes, sir.
Herman open windows. Me do.
Well, she'll sleep well now, poor soul. It won't be necessary for you to stay here. A good night's sleep will work wonders for her.
It was kind of you to come, Doctor.
Oh. Mother has sold me apples for many years. Always a good, ripe, juicy one.
Martha, give me apples. I like.
Oh, Rosalie. Oh, Margaret.
She wants her cross.
Herman, get. Here. Now, there. For Martha. There. Oh.
She won't let it out of her sight.
A terrible experience. To be attacked by a giant bat is enough to shatter anyone's nerves.
She talks about it all the time. How it flew in her face and tried to sink its teeth in her throat.
No. Bats no do. They soft, like cat. They not bite Herman.
Be quiet, Herman. See what you've done.
There, Martha, there. She'll be all right. If she isn't, let me know.
Thank you for coming, Doctor.
That's all right. Good night.
Good night. Run along, Herman. You can see Martha tomorrow.
Oh.
Ah, Dr. von Niemann.
Ah, Krington, how are you?
Much better, thank you kindly, sir, since you prescribed for me.
That's right.
Go to bed, Herman. Go to bed. You shouldn't be prowling around the streets. Dangerous. Oh, I'm afraid.
Afraid? Afraid of what, Krington?
The bats, sir. Big, giant bats with wings like an eagle's.
You saw this bat, you say?
I saw it swooping down the street. It came directly for my throat, sir.
When was this, Krington?
Last night when they came to take Von Eltz. It was a big, monstrous thing. I saw it leap across the alley and into a window. I ran just as fast as my legs could carry me.
You said nothing about this?
There's enough fear in the village already. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. I will. I'll tell the Burgermeister.
Yes, Krington. That's the thing to do.
No. Bats. Bats good. They not hurt Herman. He plays with them. You no tell. No. No. Go to bed, Herman. Go on. Go to bed.
You say he plays with bats?
His garret is filled with them. He makes pets of them.
That's odd. Very odd.
Maybe he's it. Herman prowls around the streets all hours of the night, just like an animal. Maybe he's the vampire.
Now, don't start any gossip about that, Krington. Heaven only knows where it might end. Good night.
Good night, sir. There. Now. Soft. Nice. There. See? What did I tell you?
Perhaps there's something in what Krington says.
Seems strange that a human being should want to play with bats.
He isn't human, I tell you. He's in league with the devil.
Put it on. Put it on. There. Thanks.
Now go to sleep. You'll be all right in a few days. The doctor says so.
Close the window. Close the window. I'm afraid. The vampire.
Well, he said leave them open, but I'd have them closed. You want the light?
Leave the light. I'm afraid.
Well, I can't blame you for that either. I'll turn it down a little. Good night. If you want me, just pound on the floor. I'll hear you.
All right. Good night.
Good night, Martha.
Oh.
Herr Brett Schneider is here to see you, sir. He's in the laboratory with Miss Burton.
Oh, thank you. Ah, here you are.
Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, Ruth. How are you, Carl?
Well, I'd feel a lot better if I could find a solution to these murders.
You don't believe in this vampire theory, then?
Of course not. Do you?
There are many strange happenings, my boy. Many mysteries beyond the power of the human mind to comprehend.
Have you a theory which might explain these deaths?
Well, I'll be pleased to discuss it with you, but not now. I have some very important work to do.
Well, tomorrow, then.
Tomorrow? Yes, perhaps. We'll see. Oh, this isn't so important, Miss Betty, that you can't let it go till tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Doctor. Oh, how about Martha?
Huh? Oh, nothing serious. Just a case of nerves, that's all. Good night.
Good night,
Doctor.
Good night, Carl.
Martha Muller.
Age.
I don't know.
Cause of death.
Like all the rest.
The vampire.
Yes, that's so.
When I said I was going to tell you, his eyes glowed up like coals of fire. His hand reached out towards me, as if he were going to sink it into my throat.
And weigh this well. He never works and never begs, and yet he appears well-fed always. That's so, he does. Well, what does he live on, then? I'll wager it's as Kringen says.
And my woman was in Martha's room tonight when Herman put a flower in her hand.
Strange business, if you ask me. Mighty strange.
I hate to be in your shoes, Kringen.
Yes, after what happened tonight, I'd lock myself in my room and pray God to protect me from the devil.
Good evening, and Doctor. Good evening.
Dr. Von Eman. Doctor.
Vampire.
Well, what do you make of it, Doctor?
Are these two wounds similar to those found on the other bodies?
Dr. Haupt can answer that for you, sir.
Yes, they were the same in every case.
This is a strange condition, Carl. So strange that I doubt the evidence of my eyes. What was your conclusion, Haupt?
I diagnosed the wounds as having been made by needle-sharp teeth. Punctures are clean cut, penetrating into, but not beyond, the jugular vein.
Do you mean to say that you also believe they could have been made by teeth?
Frankly, I do.
Ah, you see, Brett Schneider?
What kind of teeth, Doctor?
An animal of some sort. It's hard to say. The fangs of a wolf, perhaps.
A werewolf.
Could they have been made by, well, a bat, for instance?
A certain species, yes. There are vampire bats. Dr. William Jamison, who explored many of the tributaries of the upper Amazon, states that blood-sucking bats do exist. He further asserts that the victims often become blood drinkers themselves, citing a case in which he saw a native tortured to death in an anthill by his tribe brothers. They swore he had become a human bat, and, states Jamison, he confessed it.
Do you mean to say that such a thing as a human vampire is possible?
Who can say? Historic records would have us believe that an evil soul, assuming there is such, can take any shape it pleases.
So why not link to that of a human being? Eh, Carl? Why not?
Have you any literature on the subject, Doctor?
Yes, I have many interesting volumes on my shelf that might prove very enlightening. I'll be glad to show them to you.
I don't mind admitting that I'm up a tree. Stumped.
Well, we'll see what can be done, my boy.
No, Herman. This is no place for you. Go away, my boy. Go away.
Good night, John.
Good night, Doctor.
Good night, Hop.
Good night, Doctor.
In the morning, Carl.
Thank you, Doctor. I'm sorry to have dragged you out at such an ungodly hour.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
Ah!
A child fleeing in horror from the sight of death.
There goes the vampire. Arrest him. Lock him up. Kill him.
Has the entire village gone mad? Herman wouldn't harm a baby, and you know it.
I've walked the streets of this village for over 40 years, but tonight's the end. He knows that I've told he plays with bats.
He knows that I saw him sneak into Martha's house just before midnight.
Perhaps he was taking her another flower, Kringan. The boy brought her one this evening while I was there.
He killed her just like he did all the rest. And now he's going to kill me. Unless he's killing a stake driven through his heart, I'm a doomed man. He'll kill me. He'll kill me. I'm doomed. He'll kill me. He'll kill me. I'm a doomed man. He'll kill me.
Good morning, Mr. Brett Schneider. What brings you to Kleinschloss so early?
You.
Fibber. I heard the doctor tell Georgiana he expected you.
I knew there was something else.
You're a delightful prevaricator, Carl, but not a very convincing one.
Oh, you don't mind me using your stethoscope, do you, Doctor?
Not at all, Frau Schnappen. But what seems to be the ailment this morning?
What's that? Oh.
What seems to be the ailment this morning?
Well, Doctor, I am positive that I have valvular leakage of the aorta. Or maybe it's the right ventricle. There is something wrong with my heart. I can hear it beat, thump, 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 just like the book says.
Well, if you didn't hear it beating thump, 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 just as the book says, I would say there is something wrong.
What? Without a moon?
You have a heart of stone.
All right, then. Close your eyes. No.
Oh, so, young lady.
It's too early in the morning, Carl. Much too early.
Oh, is it?
Oh, there's Aunt Gussie.
She would show up just at a time like this.
Well, Aunt Gussie, what's the matter now?
I have palpitation of the auricular, ventricular, and mitral valves with a cardiac tendency.
You mean your heart's beating?
Of course it's beating. Dr. Von Neelen tried to assure me, but I know it's serious. I'm liable to go just like that.
Did he prescribe for you, dear?
Yes, monacid ester, salicylic acid.
You mean salicylic acid, don't you?
Well, salicylic, it's helped me. My heart is much quieter. Hello, Carl.
Hello.
Oh, Carl, you'll be good to her when I'm gone, won't you?
Yes, of course I will, Frau Schnappmann.
Well, I'm not gone yet. You can't marry her unless I say so. Don't forget that. Oh, my heart.
There, Auntie, you'll be all right. Just rest a while. What you need is...
What?
Rest, dear. Quiet. And Gussie has a heart like a steam engine. Come on.
Don't you know it's wrong to steal? You've cut yourself.
See? Blood.
Yes. Stop it, stop it.
No hurt me. No hurt.
Oh, you poor thing. Now, you wait right here, and I'll run in the house and get something for that finger. A subcutaneous wound like that might easily result in a tetanus infection.
Tetanus.
Tetanus. Lockjaw. Not that you need be afraid. From the way you talk, I think you've got it already. Look, here's a nice juicy apple for you.
Ah, this is it. Traits sur les apparitions des esprits et sur les vampires by Augustin Dom Calame in 1746. Let us suppose that these corpses do not actually stir from their tombs, that only the ghosts or spirits appear to the living. Wherefore do these phantoms present themselves, and what is it that energizes them? Is it actually the soul of the dead man which has not yet departed to its final destination?
Fiddlesticks. Now, how could a corpse buried under 4 or 5 feet of earth get out to do any such foolishness? I don't believe it.
It's a fair question, Doctor. How could it?
Well, according to accepted theory, the vampire dematerializes its body and reintegrates it outside the grave.
It's a good explanation, if you can believe it. And while I'm standing here listening to all this rubbish, there's a poor man in the garden in danger of a tetanus infection. Now, what should I do for him, Doctor? Shall I apply mercurochrome or 2% solution of bichloride?
Well, either will do. Get some gauze and some mercurochrome.
Thank you, Doctor. I'll wait here.
Difficult to believe, isn't it?
It's impossible to believe. And yet, it would explain these deaths, wouldn't it?
Ah, Brett Schneider. Pardon our intrusion, Dr. von Niemann, but after what you saw last night, you'll be interested in this as well.
Well, what's happened?
Gringen was found dead an hour ago, with the 2 punctures in his neck and not a drop of blood in his body. And what's more, Herman Gleib has disappeared.
What?
Now are you convinced that we were right and you were wrong?
That'd be proof enough for anybody. Kringen said Herman would get him, and he did.
Well, Brett Schneider?
I appoint you my deputy. Organize a searching party and comb this countryside from one end to the other. Find Herman Gleib and bring him in, but don't harm him. Do you understand?
What good will that do? He's the vampire. There's only one thing for us to do when we find him. Kill him and drive a stake through his
Herman
heart.
Gleib will be tried by a court of law. If the charge against him is proven true, the law will decide what to do with him, not you. I'll get your men together and do as I tell you.
That's the way to talk.
I'm going into town for a little while, Doctor. Would you care to come along?
Oh, I hardly believe so. There's little to be done until they find the boy. If you need me then,
All right, thanks. I'll let you know.
I feel as though I was going to faint.
Oh, there, Auntie. There's nothing here to be afraid of. Here comes Emil with your mercurochrome and bandages. Run along now and take care of that patient of yours.
Oh, heavens, I forgot all about him. Oh, my heart. Oh.
Poor Auntie. She's had every ailment in the book.
And a lot that aren't, I'm afraid.
Particularly a palpitation of the auriculoventricular, tricuspid, and mitral valves, Doctor.
Well, I had to tell her something to satisfy her.
Here, you mustn't do that. Now, where's that finger?
You good like Martha. She give me apples. Herman like you.
Are you Herman?
Me, Herman. You give me apple? Herman give you nice, soft bat.
What is it, Georgiana?
I just found this in Emil's room.
Well,
It belonged to my friend, Martha Mueller.
are you certain?
I gave it to her myself. Martha died last night. I find her crucifix in Emil's room. Doesn't that mean Emil is the one Herr Brettschneider is seeking?
This amazes me, Georgiana. It isn't possible.
It rained the night Von Elst died. There was mud on Emil's shoes the next morning.
Have you mentioned this to anyone?
I intend to tell Herr Brettschneider when he calls again.
Can't believe it. Leave this with me. I want to talk to Emil before you say anything to anyone.
The Burgermeister should know at once.
Yes, all in good time. Emil has been with me too long for us to jump to conclusions. Don't say anything until I tell you, and send Emil to me.
Very well, Doctor.
That's for the neuritis. And the pepsin, that Hassenpfeffer was tougher than shoe leather. And sweet spirits of nitre, that'll help, at least won't do any harm. And ginger, that'll warm my stomach. And now, a little pipe out of soda.
Back to the village with us. Come on. We won't hurt you.
No, won't go. Herman afraid.
Come on. You're going with us, Herman.
No.
You're going with us.
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on, Herman. Get him. Come on, Herman. We won't hurt you. Come on.
No.
Come, that settles him.
Yes, let's go. We got
Hey.
down below.
We've got to make certain.
I won't go down there.
Nobody asked you to. I'll go myself.
Can you see him?
He's on a ledge about 50 feet down. I'll get a rope. We've got to make certain, I tell you.
must be careful, Emil. Very careful. No. It must be, it must be. She's no better than the rest. I've got to go on.
Oh, it's you, Doctor. Good evening. I'm sorry to have to disturb you, Doctor, but we simply couldn't make Georgiana hear the bell.
That's quite all right, my dear. Georgiana's becoming careless. Very careless.
Yes, I've noticed that, too. In my opinion, she has nagana. That's sleeping sickness. You know the symptoms, Doctor. At first, I thought it was creeping paralysis, so I stuck a pin in her leg to see, and there was a splendid reaction of the reflex motor nerve.
Why, Auntie.
Oh, you're shocked. So is she.
Won't you join me in some coffee? Yes, thanks, Doctor. We will. There are a few questions I'd like to ask you about.
About blood and murders and vampires, I suppose.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Oh, so am I. Well, good night. If such a thing is possible, I'm going to bed.
Won't you join us too, Frau Schnappmann?
Coffee at this hour of the night? No, thank you. I'm going to stick to my monacid ester succinate salad. Acid, Doctor, acid. Good night.
What's the news in the village, Carl? Have they located Herman yet?
No, not a trace of him. I hate to think of that poor misfit being hunted down like a dog. You know, I simply can't bring myself to believe in that vampire theory.
Will you pour, Ruth?
Certainly.
I know, Carl. Our saner, calmer judgment tells us that such things can't be, and yet, here, for instance, in this ponderous tome, are cited 1,001 phobias and complexes that human beings are heir to. Some of them are strange, more untenable even than werewolves and vampires. Could I have some more, please?
You drink entirely too much coffee.
Well, that's my one weakness. And also my excuse for tolerating Georgiana's laxity and other things. She does know how to make good coffee. Thank you. She brings it to me every night at exactly 10 o'clock. And when I've drunk it all, then I know it's time to quit.
Yes. And eat breakfast so you can have more coffee.
Oh.
Georgiana, you mustn't lie like that. You'll get yourself a torticolis. No, stiff neck. Georgiana.
That was Auntie. Auntie!
Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right now. Oh, it's just
Amy, help Frau snap into her room.
my silly imagination. I imagined myself, Georgia.
The same 2 wounds, Doctor.
And my last words to her were angry ones. A petulant reprimand for being late with my coffee.
What time was that?
About 2 or 3 minutes after 10.
She's been dead then about 45 minutes. Bloodless like the rest. It passes all belief. Ruth's aunt saw Herman Gleib in the garden this morning. Could it be that he... You were the first one here. What happened?
I was in my room reading. My door was open. I must have dozed off for a minute or so because I awoke to hear Frau Schnappmann scream.
You say your door was open?
Yes, my room was very poorly ventilated.
And you saw nothing? Heard nothing unusual?
Nothing.
Carl,
What is it?
this crucifix belonged to Martha. See who it is, Emil.
Can you positively identify this as belonging to Martha?
Without a doubt. I saw it in her room the night she died.
How in the world did it get here?
Herman Gleib was in her room. He had that crucifix in his hands. And Herman was here today.
Maybe here now, for all we know.
Who is it?
Ah.
Oh,
How is she?
she's had a real shock this time, but she'll be all right. I'm putting her to bed.
Leave her there. Don't let her out of this room. And don't you leave it either.
Why, what do you mean?
It looks as if Herman Gleib is the killer after all. It's possible he may be hiding here in the castle.
Why, what makes you think so?
I'll tell you later. Stay in your room and keep your door locked.
Don't worry about that.
I heard every word he said, and I don't think there's any use of them searching for Herman. They should look for a dog, a human-faced dog.
Auntie, the doors and windows are all locked. There's nothing to be afraid of now.
Well, who said I was afraid? I'm not a bit afraid.
No, of course you're not afraid, but you must get some rest.
Rest in this awful place with dog-faced Hermans and human-faced bats and blood and murders and vampires.
Find anything, Carl?
There's an unbroken cobweb in that window. If Herman did it, he came through the door.
He must have. And yet I don't understand how he could find his way up here without us hearing him. Yet Emil was asleep, and I was in the library. Yes, he could have done it. The facts all point to it. What was it, Emil?
The Burgermeister. He has news for Herr Brettschneider about Herman.
Oh.
Pardon the intrusion, Doctor. Pardon the intrusion. I knew Carl was here, and I thought you wouldn't mind if I ran in to tell him the news.
About Herman?
Yes. He fell into the Devil's Well in the cave.
He's dead?
Dead as a doornail. This ends our troubles, Carl. The vampire's dead. I can feel it in my bones.
Well, your bones may be wrong. What time did this happen?
Quite early, about 9 o'clock. The cave is nearly 2 hours from here. That's why we didn't hear it sooner.
Well, it may interest you to know that there's been another death after your vampire died.
Who?
Dr. von Niemann's housekeeper. Right here in her own room.
Mother of mercy. What are we going to do?
But a natural death wouldn't kill a vampire, Carl. You know the accepted theory. A stake driven through the heart.
Oh, yes, that's the theory, all right.
But...
What?
But they did. They drove a stake through his heart.
Good God, are we living in the Middle Ages?
It wasn't through my sanction, Carl. Basawa did it. He told me so himself.
Well, that ends the vampire theory as far as I'm concerned. Herman Gleib died in the accepted fashion for killing a vampire. Oh, no, there's some human agency at work here, Doctor. A madman who kills to satisfy some violent, sadistic urge.
Yes, you're right, Carl. I've been a fool, a superstitious fool.
Did they leave his body in the cave?
Yes. Yes, they did.
Well, in view of what's happened, don't you think you owe him a decent burial?
You're right. In view of what has happened, we do owe him that, Carl. I'll see to it at once, this very instant. And I'll make arrangements for Georgiana's removal to the morgue. Good night, Doctor. Pardon the intrusion.
Good night, Gustav.
Pardon the intrusion.
Well, here I am, just where I started weeks ago. There isn't a single theory that doesn't lead straight into a stone wall. I've jested about this vampire business because my better judgment told me it was a lot of nonsense. Then I reached the point where I was willing to accept even that, because it seemed to satisfy the equation.
All of us are a bit superstitious.
I don't know which way to turn, where to look, what to look for. Why should anyone want human blood? Why? Why?
Calm yourself, Carl.
Calm myself? Calm myself? With all these unsolved murders staring me in the face and no solution in sight? How much blood is there in the human body, Doctor?
About 6 liters, approximately.
Can you think of any purpose for which that amount of blood might be used?
No. Not even in transfusions.
That's the point which stops me. There isn't any other use for human blood. Murderers leave clues. And these atrocities are murders, Doctor. Those simple fools in the village can believe what they like, but you and I are sane, thinking people. And you know and I know, Doctor, that these are murders. The last one was done here. In this very house, right under this roof. All right, I'll start here. I'm going over every foot of this place, both inside and out. Nobody, sane or insane, is clever enough to get away with murder without leaving a clue of some sort. And I'm going to find that clue.
Oh, come, Carl. You mustn't let your nerves run away with you. Here. These will help to give you a good night's sleep. If there are any clues, they'll be here in the morning when your nerves are calm and your mind is clear. Take my advice and go home and rest.
I imagined 1,000 demons were after me as I came down those stairs.
Ruth, didn't I tell you to stay in your room?
Yes, but I wanted the doctor to come up and quiet Auntie. You know, it isn't her imagination this time.
Of course, Ruth, I'll come right away. Take my advice, young man. Go home and go to bed.
Good night, Carl.
Good night, Ruth.
Good night, Carl.
Good night, Doctor.
his lights are on, you must wait, Emil. Wait until he has gone to bed. Handle him as you did the others, Emil. You are strong. Very strong. I am waiting for you. Waiting for you to bring him to the laboratory.
You're the one. What mad thing are you doing?
Mad? Is one who has solved the secret of life to be considered mad? Life, created in the laboratory. No mere crystalline growth, but tissue. Living, growing tissue. Life that moves, pulsates, and demands food for its continued growth. Huh. You shudder in horror. So did I the first time. But what are a few lives be weighed in the balance against the achievement of biological science? Think of it. I have lifted the veil. I have created life. Wrested the secret of life from life. Now do you understand? From the lives of those who have gone before, I have created life.
I'll tell Carl.
You may. For tonight, Carl's name will be added to yours. And all of those whom this achievement will immortalize.
I didn't take your sleeping tablets, Doctor.
Emil brought them here. He's the one who murdered them.
Stay where you are. You'll have a chance to tell everything, Doctor.
I'll take care of von Niemann. Get her out of here.
You stay here. Von Niemann and Emil.
Dr. Von Niemann.
Oh, she mustn't see them.
Where is Dr. Van Niemann? I must see him immediately.
Aunt Gussie, you can't. He can't be disturbed.
Oh, but I must see him. I simply must. And that hydrous magnesium sulfate he gave me is affecting me most peculiarly. You'll pardon me?
Hydrous magnesium sulfate. Well, that's Epsom salts.
A blanket of morning mist covered the quiet countryside as the sound of rustling leaves and distant bird songs created a serene backdrop. The camera pans across an old wooden fence, its paint peeling with age, and focuses on a weathered barn standing like a sentinel of forgotten stories. Then, the faint sound of hooves echoes. At first, it's barely noticeable, soft, uneven, almost hesitant. But as the camera draws closer, a silhouette emerges, a horse, standing alone in a small, barren paddock. Its head hangs low, its ribs faintly visible beneath a dusty coat. This is no ordinary horse. This is a survivor. You see, this horse didn't just stumble upon hard times, it was thrust into them. Neglect, fear, and pain were once its constant companions. Its story wasn't written in stables of luxury or fields of freedom, but in cramped spaces and broken promises. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite the shadows of its past, there's a spark in its eyes, faint but undeniable, a flicker of resilience that refuses to be extinguished. As the video unfolds, we meet the person who would forever change the horse's life. A quiet figure steps into the paddock, their movements slow and deliberate. No words are spoken at first. The air is thick with unspoken tension, as if both horse and human are holding their breath. The person kneels, holding out a hand, palm up. No ropes, no commands, just an invitation. And for a moment, nothing happens. The horse doesn't move. The world seems to stand still. But then, something incredible begins to unfold. A single step. The horse hesitates, its ears flicking nervously, but curiosity takes over. Another step. The camera zooms in on the person's face, a mixture of patience, hope, and a quiet determination to rebuild trust that has been shattered for far too long. The horse's nose inches closer until, finally, it brushes against the outstretched hand. It's the faintest touch, but it carries the weight of years of mistrust melting away, piece by piece. The person speaks for the first time, their voice gentle, almost a whisper. I know you've been hurt. But you're not alone anymore. And in that moment, the horse's journey begins, a journey not just of rescue but of healing, transformation, and discovery. But here's the twist: what happens next is something no one could have predicted. This horse, once abandoned and broken, is about to do something extraordinary. Something that will challenge everything we think we know about second chances. Stay with us, because this is a story you won't forget, a story that will inspire, surprise, and perhaps even change the way you see the world. The days turned into weeks, and the bond between the horse and its new caretaker grew stronger. The once timid animal now responded to soft words and gentle gestures, following its rescuer around the paddock with cautious trust. Each step it took toward recovery felt like a small victory. The caretaker worked tirelessly, not just to restore the horse's physical health, but to heal the invisible scars left by years of mistreatment. Slowly but surely, hope began to replace the fear in the horse's eyes. It was learning to live again, to trust again. But just as everything seemed to be falling into place, something unexpected happened. During a routine checkup, the caretaker noticed the horse behaving strangely, not in fear, but with a sudden intensity, almost as if it was trying to communicate something urgent. It pawed the ground and whinnied softly, its gaze darting toward the nearby woods. The caretaker paused, watching the horse closely. This wasn't ordinary behavior. It felt purposeful, almost deliberate. Curiosity won out, and the caretaker decided to investigate. Grabbing a flashlight and calling softly to the horse, they walked toward the edge of the woods. The horse followed without hesitation, its hooves crunching softly against the fallen leaves. The air grew cooler under the canopy of trees, and an eerie stillness settled around them. And then, just as they were about to turn back, the horse stopped abruptly. It froze, ears pricked forward, staring intently at a thicket up ahead. What they found next would change everything. As the caretaker pushed through the underbrush, they came upon a clearing, and there, in the fading light, was another horse. But this one was different. It was wild, its coat dark and unkempt, its eyes fierce and untamed. The horse from the paddock stepped forward, its movements slow and deliberate, as if recognizing a kindred spirit. The two animals stood face to face, their breaths visible in the cool evening air. For a moment, it was as if time stood still. And then came the twist: the wild horse wasn't alone. From the shadows emerged two foals, their legs wobbly, their frames thin. They stood close to their mother, eyes wide with a mixture of fear and curiosity. It was clear they were in dire need of help, malnourished, skittish, and vulnerable to the harsh elements. The caretaker's heart sank. This wasn't just a discovery, it was a call to action. The stakes had suddenly been raised. Rescuing one horse had been a challenge, but now there were 4 lives hanging in the balance, each one carrying its own story of survival and struggle. Could they be saved? And what had drawn the rescued horse to this very spot? Was it coincidence, or was there something deeper at play, an instinct, a connection beyond human understanding? As the caretaker stood in the clearing, the gravity of the situation set in. Resources were limited, and time was running out. The wild horse and her foals were clearly wary of humans, making any attempt to help them a delicate and potentially dangerous task. Yet, in the midst of uncertainty, there was a glimmer of hope. The rescued horse, the one who had once been broken and afraid, now seemed to take the lead. It stepped closer to the wild family, its movements calm and reassuring, as if saying, "It's going to be okay. Trust me." And just like that, the story took a new turn. What began as one horse's journey to healing had become something much greater, a mission to save an entire family. But how would the caretaker manage it? What challenges lay ahead? And most importantly, would this fragile thread of trust between human and horse be enough to rewrite their fate? The answers were still unknown, but one thing was certain: this was only the beginning of a story that would test the limits of courage, compassion, and the power of second chances. The days that followed were a whirlwind of effort, patience, and uncertainty. The caretaker worked tirelessly to gain the trust of the wild horse and her foals. Every approach was slow, deliberate, and respectful of the fragile boundary that separated fear from trust. The rescued horse played a crucial role, acting as a bridge between the wary family and the caretaker. It was remarkable to see how the once broken animal now seemed to understand the stakes, stepping into a role of quiet leadership. Progress came in small victories. The foals grew curious, inching closer with each passing day, and the mother began to soften, lowering her guard just enough to allow the caretaker near. The wild horse's eyes still held a spark of defiance, but now there was something else too, a glimmer of hope, perhaps born from watching her foals begin to trust. Slowly but surely, the caretaker was able to provide them with food, water, and the first steps towards safety. But just as it seemed the family might be saved, disaster struck. A powerful storm rolled in without warning, the kind that shakes the earth and drenches everything in its path. The winds howled through the woods, and the rain fell in relentless sheets. The caretaker, now soaked to the bone, scrambled to lead the horses to shelter. The rescued horse followed willingly, but the wild horse hesitated, her foals huddled close to her legs. Lightning cracked across the sky, and for a moment, chaos reigned. It was then that the rescued horse did something extraordinary. Ignoring the storm, it turned back and stood beside the wild horse, its presence calm and steady. It nickered softly, a sound almost lost in the roar of the storm but powerful enough to reach through the mother's fear. The wild horse looked at her foals, then at the rescued horse, and finally at the caretaker, who stood waiting with open arms and a promise of safety. With a deep, trembling breath, she stepped forward. One cautious step, then another, until the entire family was moving toward the barn. Inside, the storm raged on, but the barn provided a sanctuary. The caretaker worked quickly, drying the horses and ensuring they were warm and fed. As the hours passed and the storm began to fade, a sense of relief washed over the small group. The wild horse and her foals were safe, their trust hard-earned but now unshakable. And just when it seemed the story had reached its resolution, the final twist revealed itself. In the calm after the storm, as the caretaker gently brushed the wild horse's coat, something caught their eye, a faint but unmistakable brand hidden beneath the dirt and tangled hair. It was an old mark, one that told a story of its own. This wild horse hadn't always been wild. She had once belonged to someone, her life intertwined with humans before being lost to the wilderness. Suddenly, pieces began to fall into place. The rescued horse, the wild mare, and even the foals, they weren't strangers brought together by chance. Somehow, they were connected. Perhaps they had known each other in another time, another life. The caretaker's mind raced with questions, but the answers would remain a mystery. What mattered most was that they were together now, a family forged through adversity and bound by a shared resilience. As the camera lingered on the reunited horses, the rescued horse nuzzled one of the foals, a quiet act of tenderness that spoke volumes. This wasn't just a rescue mission, it was a story of redemption, of bonds that couldn't be broken, and of second chances that could heal even the deepest wounds. And as the sun broke through the clouds, casting a golden light over the barn, one thing was clear: this was a new beginning for them all, one filled with hope, love, and the promise of a brighter future. The storm had passed, leaving the world drenched and still. The caretaker stood at the barn door, watching as the horses settled into the quiet calm. The rescued horse seemed at ease, its once nervous movements now replaced by a steady grace. The wild horse stayed protectively close to her foals, but her eyes no longer held the same mistrust. It felt like a triumph, a hard-fought battle won against fear and uncertainty. But just as relief began to settle, a distant noise broke the silence. The caretaker turned toward the sound, their hearts skipping a beat. It was the low rumble of an approaching vehicle, its headlights piercing through the fading mist. The sound stirred something in the wild horse, who raised her head sharply, her body tensing. The foals pressed against her sides, sensing her unease. The caretaker moved quickly, stepping between the horses and the oncoming truck, unsure of what or who was arriving. The vehicle rolled to a stop, and a man stepped out, his boots crunching against the wet gravel. His weathered face and confident stride suggested he was no stranger to the land or to horses. He scanned the barn, his eyes landing on the wild mare. A flicker of recognition crossed his face, and he approached slowly, his hands raised in a gesture of peace. "I've been looking for her," the man said, his voice steady but tinged with something deeper regret, perhaps. He explained that years ago, the wild horse had belonged to him. She'd been part of a small herd he'd cared for until a devastating wildfire tore through the area, forcing them to flee. He had searched for weeks, hoping to find her, but eventually he'd given up, believing she was lost forever. Now, by some twist of fate, she had returned, bringing her foals and her story with her. The caretaker felt a knot tighten in their chest. The bond they had built with the horses had been hard won, and the thought of letting them go felt impossible. But as the man stepped closer, the wild mare didn't shy away. Instead, she watched him carefully, her ears flicking forward, her body relaxing just slightly. It was clear she remembered him. For a moment, the barn was silent, the weight of the decision hanging in the air. The caretaker glanced at the rescued horse, who stood calmly, as if waiting for what would come next. And then, an idea sparked a compromise that might honor everyone involved. The caretaker spoke carefully, explaining the journey that had brought the wild mare and her foals to safety. They suggested a partnership. The horses would remain under the caretaker's watch, with the man's support to ensure they had everything they needed to thrive. The man considered the proposal, his expression softening as he looked at the foals, who peeked curiously from behind their mother. Finally, he nodded. "That sounds fair," he said. "She's found her way here for a reason. Maybe this is where she's meant to be." As they shook hands, the unexpected twist revealed itself. The man paused, his gaze shifting to the rescued horse. "That one," he said quietly. "She was part of my herd too. I'd know her anywhere." The caretaker's breath caught. It all made sense now, the connection between the two horses, the way the rescued horse had led them to the wild mare. They weren't just kindred spirits, they were family, separated by tragedy and reunited by fate. The realization brought a rush of emotion, a profound sense of closure that felt like the final piece of a puzzle falling into place. In the days that followed, the horses began a new chapter together, their stories intertwined in ways no one could have foreseen. The rescued horse, once broken and lost, had become the cornerstone of something far greater, a story of survival, redemption, and the unbreakable bonds that connect us all. And as the sun set over the paddock, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, it was clear that this wasn't just the end of their journey. It was the beginning of a life filled with love, trust, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. The days following the reunion brought a new rhythm to the caretaker's life. The once quiet farm now hummed with activity and purpose. The horses seemed to thrive in their shared space, their bonds deepening with each passing day. The wild mare, though still cautious, allowed herself moments of peace, grazing in the open field while her foals explored under the watchful eyes of their mother. The rescued horse, now fully embracing its role as a guide, often led the younger ones to patches of sweet grass or shaded spots under the old oak trees. It was a sight that filled the caretaker's heart with quiet pride. The man who had arrived with the storm became a familiar presence around the farm. Though his initial visit had been fueled by the past, his decision to stay was rooted in the present. He helped repair the old barn, ensuring it could withstand future storms, and worked alongside the caretaker to secure the paddocks. It wasn't just about the horses anymore, it was about creating a sanctuary where all of them, caretaker, man, and animals, could find solace. Over time, the foals grew stronger, their once fragile frames filling out with proper care and nourishment. They were curious and playful, often nudging the caretaker with their soft noses or galloping in bursts of energy across the paddock. Their joy was infectious, a constant reminder of the resilience that had carried them through the darkest times. Watching them run, their small bodies silhouetted against the setting sun, felt like witnessing a miracle. But life on the farm wasn't without its challenges. There were nights when the wild mare would stand by the paddock's edge, staring into the woods as though searching for something or someone left behind. On those nights, the caretaker would sit quietly nearby, offering companionship without intrusion. It was clear that healing wasn't a straight path, it was a journey, one that required patience and understanding. The man, too, carried his own burdens. He often spoke of the wildfire that had taken so much from him, not just his herd, but a piece of himself. Yet, as the days turned into weeks, he began to open up, sharing stories of the horses he'd cared for, the dreams he'd had for them, and the heartbreak of losing them. The caretaker listened, finding in his words echoes of their own journey with the rescued horse. In their shared experiences, they found a quiet camaraderie, one built not on words but on a mutual respect for the lives they had been entrusted to protect. As the seasons changed, the farm transformed into a haven. The fields, once overgrown and wild, became lush with grass and dotted with flowers. The barn, now sturdy and freshly painted, stood as a symbol of renewal. Visitors began to arrive, neighbors, children, and even strangers drawn by the story of the rescued horse and her newfound family. The caretaker welcomed them, sharing the journey not as a tale of tragedy but as one of hope and redemption. People would often leave the farm with a renewed sense of purpose, inspired by the resilience of the horses and the kindness that had brought them back to life. One day, as the foals chased each other across the field, the caretaker noticed something unusual. The rescued horse stood at the top of a small hill, its ears pricked forward, its gaze fixed on the horizon. It let out a low, soft nicker, and the wild mare responded immediately, raising her head and trotting to join her. The foals followed, their playful energy replaced by a quiet curiosity. The caretaker and the man exchanged a look, then followed the horses toward the hill. What they saw when they reached the top took their breath away. In the distance, emerging from the edge of the woods, was another horse. Its coat was dark, its frame lean but strong. It moved cautiously, pausing every few steps as though unsure of its welcome. The wild mare let out a loud whinny, a sound filled with recognition and emotion. The new horse froze, then responded with a call of its own, picking up its pace until it reached the edge of the paddock. The caretaker quickly opened the gate, stepping back to let the wild mare approach. The two horses touched noses, their breaths mingling in the cool air. There was no doubt they knew each other. Perhaps they had been separated during the wildfire, each surviving in their own way, only to be reunited now through a series of events no one could have predicted. The foals pranced nervously but soon joined their mother, nuzzling the newcomer, as though sensing the bond between them. For the caretaker and the man, it was a moment of pure awe. The farm, which had once been a place of isolation and struggle, had become a beacon, drawing together lives that had been scattered. It was a reminder that even in the face of loss, there was always the possibility of reunion, of wholeness restored. The days that followed were filled with quiet joy. The new horse settled in quickly, fitting seamlessly into the rhythm of the farm. The foals, now with an additional protector, grew bolder, their playful antics bringing laughter to everyone who watched. The wild mare seemed at peace for the first time, her family complete once more. And the rescued horse, the one who had started it all, stood as a silent testament to the power of second chances. As the sun set on another day, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, the caretaker stood by the paddock, watching the horses graze. The man joined them, his face softened by the golden light. Neither spoke, but they didn't need to. The scene before them said everything about resilience, about love, and about the beauty of lives intertwined. And so, the farm continued to thrive, a place where broken things were mended, where trust was rebuilt, and where hope found a way to shine, even in the darkest moments. The story of the rescued horse and her family didn't end, it simply became part of something greater, a legacy of compassion and strength that would endure for years to come.